Good day, friends and yogis. I'm Nicole Spirit. Today we've got special guest in the house, my dream sign. It's going to be a full moon in a couple of days, so whenever you do this video, I wish you well, and it's the full wolf moon, so I had to bust out my favorite wolfy sweater, and I hope you're wearing something cozy. And this is a full moon too that is coinciding with Mercury retrograde, and if you've heard that expression before, you'll know that communication can get a little wonky during the 3-week period that started at the last week of December and goes for the first couple weeks of January 2023. So I'm so grateful that you're here. Today's practice is going to be fun and easy, just a little reset for anything that's going on for you right now. I know that I tried to quit like every bad habit that I have in 2022, and I was pretty successful. I dropped coffee, I dropped really drinking. I didn't drink very much at all, and I dropped another bad habit that I won't necessarily get into right now, but if you know me, you probably know what it is. And I'm just going to say that I feel really, really good. I feel very clear and very happy. And yeah, I feel like I want to teach yoga to you. So let's start out in Shavasana. We're going to lay down on the mat. We're going to stretch our legs long. And before we crash down, I want you to just create a connection with your beautiful spine. You can leave the knees bent and lower yourself down with some mindfulness, with that connection of your core, your spine connecting with the earth. And as you arrive, just take stock of where you are right now. Notice what's happening for you. When I look up, I see this beautiful peace lily above me, which does like to sprinkle fairy dust everywhere. There's all this white pollen behind me, but luckily it smells good, and I'm just focusing on the idea of inner peace floating down and finding it in my own heart. So take a couple of breaths, notice how you're feeling right now. Maybe you start to smile, maybe you just sense your body lying on the earth. And one of my favorite reminders is that the earth has an electromagnetic beat or pulse. It's basically the heartbeat of, sometimes it's called Gaia or the spirit of the earth. So this heartbeat is very powerful to tune into for yogis and healers and anybody who's trying to connect with the electromagnetic power that isn't coming from a phone or a device or Wi-Fi or anything. It's just coming from the earth. So this can be called grounding, rooting. So in Shavasana, of course, we perhaps know that the term means corpse pose. So you basically lie there nice and still, find your deeper breath, and connect to the heartbeat of the earth. I love the SMILE energy because it's a beautiful acronym for Start My Internal Love Engine, from Master Chun Yi Lin. So breathe and smile. Maybe you don't feel like smiling, and maybe we say something beautiful like, I choose love, and I choose to feel good. So I know that when I quit my last bad habit that I was really craving a deep breath. And yes, I used to smoke cigarettes, and that bad habit left me a long time ago, but I just want you to tune into your beautiful breath. Sometimes we have certain habits that we don't even realize. We just want to breathe deeper. So take a deep breath and hold the breath for 5 counts. So we'll inhale and hold it in. No strain or struggle. Then we're going to exhale for a count of 5 as well. Now, no breath in or out, hold for 5 seconds. Yes. Let's do this 3 more times, this Holy Trinity. Let's inhale, pause for 5, exhale for 5, and pause for 5 counts. This is called square breathing. We're going to do this 2 more rounds. Inhale for 5, pause, exhale, and pause. Let's do this 1 more time. Have faith. This is the best thing you could possibly do to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. And at the end of your breath, just pause again and hold. Maybe you're still smiling. I'm still kind of smiling. It feels a little goofy, but I'd rather feel good than not good. So let's just check in with how that is for us. Let's gently bend the knees. We're going to just start by bringing our knees side to side, kind of like the windshield wipers. Notice that your spinal connection might lift off the earth just a little bit, or you stay super grounded in your sacrum, the base of your spine. Remember that the word sacrum means sacred or secret. So I'm sharing my secret with you that I've tried to quit some bad habits, and that's very humbling for me as well. Let's bring the knees back to center. Just pause, raise your arms up. And I want you to create waterfall pose now. So reach your arms high in the sky and then gently let your shoulders sink into the ground and let your arms sink into your shoulder sockets. Then, only if it's available, draw your knees up and lift your legs up to the sky. Same thing, point through the toes, feel like somebody or an energy is lifting you up, pulling up your ankles, and then gently let your legs get heavy in your hip sockets. Now this is forming the letter U, and this is also called waterfall pose. Now you might notice some core activation here, and that's super good, but then just see if you can relax, leave your legs up. Now if this is totally uncomfortable, you can keep your legs up against a wall, and actually highly recommend this pose before you go to bed for 2 or 3 minutes, legs up the wall. Every time I do it in class, that beautiful heart that my friend, the tough tiny welder, made for me falls. So I'm not going to do it against the wall, but I want you to know that it's an option. Bring your butt up against the wall, gently lift your legs, and that's a beautiful pose to do at the end of the day. Good, let's release now wherever you are. Bring your legs down, your arms down. Feel that activation that happened in your core or your powerhouse muscles. And then we're going to draw the knees in. We're going to lift the arms and we're going to shake like a bug stuck on its back. Smile, elongate the breath. And I want you to think about what is known as the Holy Trinity in yoga. It's known as the beautiful connection of our body and our mind and our breath. So take 1 more big breath here. Shake as much as you can. Get into your elbows, get into your knees, get into your hips and shoulders a little bit. And then gratitude rolls over us. Release. And we feel this immense sense of grace as we realize we're not a bug stuck on its back. And how good did that feel to get some energy zipping around and floating through your body? So smile and breathe. So now we're going to come up onto our seat. So we have a couple of options. If you're feeling super strong and your core is really activated and you're like, I'm going to do some full sit-ups, I will join you. The other way is just gently rolling onto your side and pushing your way up with your arms. We're all going to meet in a seated position. And if you've already arrived there, then start a gentle meditation of just smiling and breathing. So for full sit-ups, stretch your legs out. Imagine that there's these straps that are helping hold down your legs nice and strong. And I like to lift the arms overhead. Now the most important part of a sit-up for me is visualizing the sit-up. So you visualize, inhale, churn up that core, come to a nice tall spine, and then I like doing a little exhale as I lean forwards. Inhale, nice tall spine again. Hug an imaginary tree and roll back down. I want you to go down slowly. Try not to crash with your upper body. And if you have crashed, that's okay. Just see where you're at today. Inhale, exhale. Depending on when you do this video, it is the start of the year, and I'm just here to remind you, you're perfect just the way you are. Let's release and roll down. And then let's do one more wherever you are. Inhaling, sitting up, exhale, little reach forwards, and then we're gonna release our arms. We're gonna give the legs a little shake, and we're going to arrive in a cross-legged seated position. So we might be joining you, or you might be coming into this space with me. This is called Sukha, Sukhasana. Sukha means good place. So I want you to find your good place. Maybe you lift up your sitting bones to the back, to the sides. Notice what it would feel like to get rooted and grounded through the bottom side of your body or through the butt side of your body. And I want you to sit up nice and tall. Notice that when you have good posture, everything about you becomes just that much more attractive. You notice that maybe you have self-love, and that love emanates to everything around you. So we're coming into the energy of a full moon, and the full moon represents your biggest connection to your emotions. It's said that the moon is an expression of how much light we are sharing with the rest of the world. So full moons are very powerful, and they're said to be a time when, for example, this is a full wolf moon coming up on January 7th, that perhaps we get a sense of being in hibernation. It's winter in the northern hemisphere, and we don't even want to come out and howl. But how does it feel to connect with yourself, with your emotions? So I want you to imagine that no matter what the weather is, no matter what dark clouds you might have above you, that you're going to tune into deep gratitude within your heart. So let's start to think about the things that we're grateful for. This is a meditation. I want you to start to imagine the things that instantly come to mind. And if you have a roof over your head, if you have a yoga mat to do a practice on, if you have running water, if you have the opportunity to choose your own spiritual path, those are things to be extremely grateful for. So those are just a few examples of things that I'm tuning into. Again, if this is an uncomfortable position for you, sit up against a wall. Sure. You can do this whole class just seated and just listening and enjoying your breathing. So for a couple more moments, I want you to think of things that you're grateful for. You can list them off, you can close your eyes, you can say them in your head, you can visualize them. And here's a really good exercise. For fun, I want you to visualize a unicorn just ran in front of your brain. So you saw a beautiful green pasture, and I want you to tell me in the comments what you saw or were able to visualize with a unicorn running across your mind. Just showing you how powerful your thoughts are, and when we change our mind, we change our life. That is a miracle in of itself. So let's think about gratitude, and now I don't want you to even think about things or places or energies that you're grateful for. I just want you to be grateful. So see if we can release specifics and just come into a place of grace where we tune into gratitude and imagine that it's coming out the top of our head like a beam of light and connecting with our sun, wherever the sun is right now. Could be dark out, it could be light, it could be cloudy, but I want you to know that with gratitude, you can connect to the sun and its love and light whenever you need it. Good. So maybe a smile has crept across your face. Maybe it's like a wash or a wave down your body. And just for a few more moments, knowing that when you smile and when you breathe and come into your heart space and think about things you're grateful for, you can connect to the sun, and it's like a wash of sunshine comes back down over you. Beautiful. So let's gently bring the hands together. You can keep the eyes closed or gently keep them open a little bit. And I want you to rub your hands together, create an energy ball, and then gently open and close your hands. So if you've ever done any work like therapeutic touch or Reiki or even energy healing, you might have created an energy ball, or Qigong, energy skills. And let's just use our imagination to create a little bit more substance to this energy ball. So your hands might get a little bit wider apart, and you might even close your eyes and sense and feel that there's like a thick, beautiful energy in your hands. And then I want you to bring this energy over the top of your head, and then gently start to imagine this big ball of light streams into 1,000 strands, and you gently bring your hands over the front of your body as this light smooths over through your entire field. When you get to your legs, you can flip the palms so that they're facing the legs, and then bring your hands to the earth. Now, if it's available, reach your hands forwards and connect to the earth. And if this feels uncomfortable, you can always straighten one or both legs. This feels a little nicer for me. Lean a little bit forwards and give the earth a hug. And perhaps you say or think or feel, I love you, earth. Thank you for keeping me grounded and rooted and centered. And then ever so gently bring your hands to your heart. Just notice what's going on for your legs. Maybe you bring the other leg in front. And I want you to sense and feel golden light from the sunshine pouring into your heart. And then float your hands up overhead. And again, connect with that first spot where now we connect with purple light from the stars. And we imagine the cosmos, the universe, entering into our head. You can even place the fingers on the top of your head, pointing down. And for the next moment or two, just float in purple cosmic space dust, coming in through your breath, coming in through your intention. And then bring your hands in front of your head and imagine purple light soothing the mind. Maybe you see and sense the full, beautiful silvery moon, and you connect with your deepest intuition. Yes. And then float the hands down back to the legs. Wherever your legs are, let's give them a little shake. And then float them back in again to Sukhasana. Hands on the knees now. We're going to do a few spinal circles. Just waking up the body, waking up the spine. And if you're seated, if you're laying down, just imagine that you're doing this. You know, it's actually the most powerful type of yoga to imagine what you're doing, even if you're not doing it. So there's a little story of a basketball team, and they did a competition, and 3 groups, the Holy Trinity, there were 3 groups that did different things. So the first group played basketball every day. The second group didn't play basketball at all. And the third group imagined that they were playing basketball every day. Come back to center. Let's go the other way. And so at the end of the month, they all did a basketball competition, and the most successful group was the one that imagined playing really well every day, even better than the ones that practiced daily. So what does that tell you about your mind over matter? Pretty amazing. Let's come back to center, see how we feel. I know that it feels good to move, so motion is lotion, as they say. Let's release the legs out. And again, if you're imagining doing this, then just follow the meditation and bring your legs out in your mind. Float back onto your hands, and I want you to just pat and stomp your feet onto the floor. If this doesn't feel good, you can bend your elbows and do this variation as well. This is bringing extra energy and life force into your feet and then all the way up into your body. Good. Then press the feet back down, lift yourself back up, and we're going to extend the legs long. Now, some people find sitting in Dandasana, staff pose, very uncomfortable, so you can always bend your knees. So I want you to choose the place that feels good. Now for me, when I sit up like this, my low back fires, my core has to engage, and now we're gonna do something fun and playful. We're gonna reach our arms out front, and we're gonna row our boat. Do you feel comfortable singing with me? Let's do it. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream. Let's do that 2 more times, just singing 2 more rounds. And now I want you to really just let go of any thinking and feel what the song is really about. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yes. Let that energy wash over you. Bring your feet to the side. Turn around onto all fours. Now, bring your hands right under your shoulders, your knees right under your hips, and just wag your tail from side to side. Smile, breathe, let go. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Maybe tuning into the 4 agreements today. So ground through your feet, press away with your hands, find a nice length in the spine, and I want you to even engage your belly lock. So that's bringing your belly in and up, creating that suction that's known as the second lock, the Uddiyana Bandha, the belly lock of the body. Good. Then we're going to release. Bring your knees forwards. Bring your hands onto your legs. And if this is uncomfortable, this is my secret little trick, is flip the mat underneath you and sit up nice and tall. Notice the difference between, remember, that kind of slouchy, not so nice posture to I am strong. Sit up nice and tall, your chest is open, your chin is tucked, and maybe we find that smiling energy into our liver now, which is this giant organ under our right side of our ribs that has over 3,000 functions in the human body. And the liver in the shadow emotion is said to hold anger and frustration, but in the positive, it holds our kindness, and benevolence. So I want you to be kind to your liver. Bring your hands over your right side, right where you think your liver is, and I want you to smile into your liver. If this is uncomfortable to sit in this hero's pose, then sit in Sukhasana again, or again in your meditation. Just be listening and doing this lying down or seated. Smile into the liver. My liver's name is Oliver. That means zero gunk in the liver. And of course, I used to have a cat named Oliver. So all of my organs are named after my past cats and dogs, so that I remember to tell them I love them every day. Let's release the hands. I know I'm weird. That's probably why you like me. And then bring the hands back out in front. Release that seat wherever you were. And we're going to come into a nice little squat. And then ever so gently, we're going to stand up. So you can bring the back side of the body up first and then roll up to standing. And remember that it's a full moon class with the communication vibe really being accentuated today. So step your feet about hip width, shoulder width apart, stand up nice and tall, bend your knees just a hint, sink your tailbone, and we'll bring the hands in front. This is the Qigong version of Tadasana or mountain pose. And you're just going to double check that your chin is a little bit tucked, so you've got that long line of energy going right up the spine and out the top of the head. Hands are in Wuji, open fingers and slightly out and in front of your body. And there's even a little bit of space under your armpits, like there's a tennis ball there, just so the energy can really flow and circulate. So I was mentioning the 4 agreements earlier. One of the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz is be impeccable with your word. So that means speak honestly, speak truthfully, and try to speak articulating in a very nice way. So you can read the book and it's all very descriptive about each of the 4 agreements, but that is just a nice simplification of be impeccable with your word. The next one is always do your best. Yeah, always do your best. The next agreement is never assume. And the final one is don't take things personally. So if you're interested in those 4 agreements, you can read the book. You can get the fun little cards that go with the book. And ever so gently, we'll release the hands now. So we're going to step the feet about 1 leg length apart. Now that's your leg length. So you might even glance at your leg and say, yup, it's about that long. And yup, that's about the space between my feet. So triangle, you're creating a triangle from the ground up the legs. Now we're going to come into our warrior or hero's pose, Virabhadrasana 2. So we're going to turn the toes out. You can start by turning the left toes out. You can mirror what I'm doing. And then we're going to bend that left knee so it's right over the ankle. Stretch your arms out long, drop your shoulders down, and then we're going to gaze out past that left extended hand. Smile and breathe, and I want you to visualize energy shooting out your fingers, going all the way around this beautiful earth and coming back in your other hand. 1 more breath. Smile, visualize, be strong, be happy, be well. And then we're going to do our Shanti Virabhadrasana, peaceful hero or warrior. Lean forwards, big inhale breath, and then exhale, tip up that left arm and your right arm arrives on the back of the thigh. You can gaze up at your hand, make sure you're comfortable, and think of what Shanti means, peace. Peace, Om Shanti means my world is peace. 1 more breath. Maybe make the peace symbol. And then we're gonna let it go. Bring the arms back to shoulder height. Stand up nice and straight with that left leg and look forwards again. And let's drop the arms. Let's do the other side. That left foot turns in, right foot turns out. Again, I'm mirroring you. Arms are gonna float out to the sides again. Big inhale, breath. Exhale, bend your right knee and come into a space where it's not easy to hold, but you notice that you've got to zip up that energy line up the front of the body. You've got to drop the shoulders down, and you've got this big, beautiful strength in your legs. And again, use that visualization as you look past your right hand and float an energy all the way around the earth and come back in your other fingertips. You can even wiggle your fingers. One more breath. And say to yourself a beautiful mantra that reaffirms your strength and vitality. I like that simple one. I am strong. Good. Now we're going to do Shanti Virabhadrasana, lean forwards and then up and back. And your left hand is going to arrive on the back of that thigh, and you can gently gaze up at your top hand. Drop your shoulder a little bit. It's not meant to be painful. Feel strong, feel resilient, beautiful. And then ever so gently, we'll float that hand back down. We'll come back into our Vira 2 and then straighten through that right leg, and we'll float the arms back down. Let's bring the toes forwards. We're gonna do a forward fold now. So check in with your legs, make sure you're comfortable. And then we're gonna lower the upper body down to the floor. So you can be up here, your hands can be on a block. You might bring your hands under your shoulders. You might want to widen your stance. See how that feels. And I really love to bring the head below the heart. Let that energy of endorphins bathe your brain. Now, if you're feeling it today, we could do a twist, or you can just stay here. I like to drop my left elbow down, and maybe you just stay on that left hand. And then we're going to take the right arm up and over if that feels good. If not, just leave the hand on the waist. Maybe you tickle your favorite star, a constellation, or an energy that's shining down, cosmic, universal life force to you. Beautiful. Release your left hand from in front of you. Your right hand is going to come in front now, either on the hand or bent on the elbow, and you're going to reach the left arm up and over. Come to a comfortable place, or just simply bringing the hand to the waist. Wherever you are, smile. I'm tickling the Pleiades, my favorite constellation of the 7 sisters. And maybe you even connect with a specific star from a specific constellation. Let's bring the hands back under the shoulders. Walk your feet in a little closer, toe heel walk. And then we're going to bend the knees and roll the body up to standing. So we started our class lying down in corpse pose. We're going to finish our class standing up. So bring your feet back to shoulder width apart, toes facing forwards, knees a little bent, sink through the tailbone, and we're going to bring the hands out to the sides, and we're going to open heaven's door, or knocking at heaven's door. So spinning gently or spiraling from side to side. Let your hands make contact with your body. This is my favorite Qigong exercise. Of course, Qigong and yoga go together so perfectly, like tapenade and homemade bread. All vegan, of course, if possible. It is vegan-uary. So even if you're not a vegetarian or vegan, you can always try to have a dry January. That means no drinking, no drugs, and maybe we try to reduce some of our bad habits. Maybe we even just try a meatless diet for 1 month. And I'm not making this up. It's a real thing. I've been vegan for 5.5 years, and I'm just gonna say this, that everything I love eating, I just find a substitute for. So I've found lots of vegan cheese that I like, and I make lots of fun burgers from scratch. If you're ever interested, there's a beautiful recipe by Planta, which is a restaurant in Toronto, so look up Planta Burger, and it's all vegan, and it tastes amazing. It's much more inexpensive than real meat, and no animals are harmed. So if you love animals as much as I do, you might try some vegan alternatives. I never want to be a pusher, but it is veganuary, and as I said, I can't make that stuff up. All right, spiraling the arms. And you might be one of those people, you have to eat meat, and that's totally cool, I get it, but can we create a connection with the food we eat, that it's at least grown mindfully, not industrialized farming? So when they say we're eating happy chickens and happy cows, you know, just investigate where your meat comes from, or your eggs. Slow it down. If you're interested, there's a great movie on Netflix called What the Health. This is not a vegan infomercial. I'm just sharing some of the things that have made me have a healthier and happier life. All right, slow it down, slow it down. Come back to center, pause for a moment, and I want you to just feel the energy in your body. You can close your eyes. You can imagine yourself being rooted, centered, grounded like a beautiful tree. Your roots are in the earth, keeping you supported. Your energy is flowing up your body and down like a beautiful tree trunk. And then your leaves are gently dancing in the wind. Let's bring the feet just a little bit closer together. Bend the knees. We'll finish off with centering. Bring your hands to the lower dantian or elixir field of the body. This is said to be like a reservoir of energy for yourself. And then we're going to take the right arm out to the side, float it up and around, big inhale, and then exhale, float down through the center line. I also should mention, let's do the other side, that there's another way to measure the Earth's heartbeat known as the Schumann resonance wave. Schumann resonance. So big inhale, breath, and exhale as the palm goes down the center line of the body. This helps center you. Then your left arm up and over. So the Schumann resonance measures this electromagnetic pulse of the Earth. And you may have never heard of it. You may be jumping for joy saying, I'm so glad she mentioned it. And you can tune into what the Schumann resonances have been. And I'll just reassure you that the last 3 years, we've had more electromagnetic spikes than we have in the last 2,000 years. So the Earth's heartbeat is definitely changing and shifting. And it's said that we're heralding in a new energy, a place on Earth where we can live with that connection to source energy or God energy and feel like, no offense, that religion didn't mess things up. We can find what's known as true Christ consciousness, which is creating that beautiful essence of your crystal energy within you. No religion. And if you are religious, that's okay too, of course. But let's all just try to get along. Let's not condemn anybody else's system. And I'm going to condemn one system, Satanism. No, not good. So let's notice that there's always a balance between good and bad. And now we're harnessing in the energy of good, good, good. God is good. Good. That's a lot of ramble on. Thank you. You listened to my babble on so beautifully. Let's overlap the hands at the lower dantian, elixir field, at the thumb crease. Let's bring the feet together. And let's just be a bamboo in the wind, a crystal on the side of a mountain. Maybe you close your eyes, maybe you smile. Thank you so much for being here today. I so highly honor you and revere this practice. This is a chance for us to take deeper breaths together, to meditate a little together. And Qigong is considered a standing meditation or a moving meditation. That's most frequently done in a standing position. So we do include some Taoyin yoga, some movements, some postures, but basically it's very feng shui of us to find the flow of wind and water within ourselves, connect with the universe and each other. Beautiful. Let go of thoughts. Maybe you just tune in to that very beautiful mantra if you learned one thing from this class. Whenever you need it, take a deep breath and say, I choose love. Let's slow things down. Let's walk the feet a little bit apart and then circle the belly clockwise. So up the right, over to the left and down. Honor the direction of your large bowel. Honor the direction of digestion. And then with a sigh, we will let our hands go. And we'll finish today's class bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra, tipping the chin down a little bit, perhaps closing the eyes. We dedicate the merits of our class to all sentient beings. May all beings be relieved of their suffering, and may we dwell together with great fruitfulness and harmony. The light in me greatly honors and sees the light in you. Namaste. Float your hands up to the third eye, maybe just a little rub of your thumbs against your forehead for your beautiful sixth sense, your intuition, your insight, your inspiration. And remember, have faith. Enjoy the trinity of your body and breath and your mind. And if at all possible, do all things with grace. Thank you, my beloveds. See you next time.